If you're like me, and you got no life and there's nowhere to go, then tune in to the Animation Truman Show. You'll be glad you did.
And of course, you will be nothing but thrilled that you tuned in to the Animation Truman Show this morning, and good morning to you, world. Well, what are we doing? This is actually a bona fide Animation Truman Show episode because I'm just doing whatever it is that needs to be done to keep moving forward this morning. So, what I did a moment ago in Sony Vegas, which is my editor of choice, is I did a render. So we rendered as, and what we did was we rendered this as an MXF file, which is a really high quality flavor of Ffmpeg 4 basically. If you look at the file, I'm doing this to create a proxy. Okay, so the so here's the proxy file that I just rendered. As you can see, it's 600 and about a half a gigabyte, a little more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this batch file, which uses Ffmpeg. And the way I do it is, I do have Ffmpeg in my system path, okay? But, you know, Ffmpeg is the Swiss Army knife of video and audio file conversion. So all this does is it really just creates a default conversion of the MXF file into an MP4. And interestingly, you're going from a file that is visually lossless. It looks the same to me at full HD, but it's 26 megabytes instead of 600 and some. So this is what I use as what we call a proxy when working on the soundtrack. So this doesn't take too long. I put the cleanup.bat file right in with the folder where I keep my proxies. And as you can see, the proxies, each webisode has its own folder that the proxy resides in. And so there it is. And so when I run this in another window, Ffmpeg is going to give me a warning. Now the reason it's giving me a warning is because the proxy file already exists. So you might wonder, well, why recreate the proxy? Now the reason is, if we go back to Vegas, we'll just let that render. I did the this morning I did the previously on segment. So when the episode starts out, you have this little behind the scenes bit for the previous
Previously on Salt and Light.
Wealth that is stolen is no wealth at all.
Stolen! You are banished from this court until the rains come.
As you command, Majesty.
I'm looking at the audio. It seems a little hot.
That meddler is an enemy of the crown. Maybe time for you to take a wife.
Wife? I don't even have a girlfriend.
So there you go. So that's the behind the scenes. And the way this works, for those who are curious, is that this is actually a nested veg file. So the timeline that you edit in Vegas is a .veg file, okay? If you, but you can take a veg file and actually drag it into another Vegas timeline. So you nest it. It's kind of similar to with OpenTunes or Tahoma when you have a subscene. It's the same idea. It's just nested. And so then at any time I can also edit this in Vegas, which opens up a second instance of Vegas, which I will put over here on my other screen. The reason I've actually got it on the main screen is for some reason on this screen, ever since I made a couple hardware adjustments on my monster machine, the freaking menus here have disappeared. We'll figure it out. I have no idea why. Not going to worry about it. But so each of the behind the scenes, what actually happens is I take the final render of the previous episode and I bring it up in the trimmer and then just look for little moments in the episode that are kind of dramatic or interesting or whatever. And I can take a little piece of that and drag it into this timeline, like so, and sort of build it up. And I sort of have a rule to keep this, keep the length of time for these little previously on episodes, keep them roughly the same length. So that's part of the discipline of editing it, actually, is forcing yourself to keep it to a certain specific length. So Zuko's over there being noisy today, which is kind of surprising because I gave him a cartoon to watch. So, all right, so we can close that, and the proxy should be done. And so what I'm going to do next, as I said, today Animation Truman Show is all about just whatever's on the
Previously
agenda that
on
needs to be done. So I'm just going to
Salt
check
and
this one more
Light.
Wealth
time.
that is stolen is no wealth at all.
Stolen! You are banished from this court until the rains come.
As you command, Majesty.
That meddler is an enemy of the crown. Maybe time for you to take a wife.
Wife? I don't even have a girlfriend.
So you can see that one of the things about the and I'm just showing this because if you're creating some content or a show of your own, you may want to do something similar. When there's a clunky edit in there somewhere, which there often is, particularly because of the soundtrack. This has got the soundtrack baked into the video, so sometimes it doesn't work so well. So a lot of times what you can do is use these little trailer sound effects, like this. Stuff like that, to just
Rains come.
sew
you
the
command,
different
Majesty.
sections together, make them, sort of glue them together.
Enemy of the...
And then here you've got a situation where the shot has a nice, the music just turns into sort of this pensive thing.
Command, Majesty.
So then I was able to take this shot and actually lay it over top of it. And sometimes you don't get that lucky.
That meddler is an
Where
enemy of the crown.
You can sort
Maybe
of
time for...
use the soundtrack, so sometimes it's choppier and you have to do a little more work to make it work, but there it is, my friends, there it is. Okay, so now I'm going to take half a second and look at my YouTube channel, make sure that we are actually streaming, and it looks like we are. And so that's that. So it's early in the morning. It looks like really nobody's interested in watching the Animation Truman Show first thing in the morning with no warning, which I can understand. So, well, let's just keep moving forward and see what we're going to do. So I created the proxy by rendering out this webisode. Come on, Vegas, don't be stupid. So the next thing on my agenda is to actually check the soundtrack. Hey, Maria. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm actually ready for whenever you get that voiceover. That's pretty much all I have to still put in this episode. I am pretty sure I went in and did a bunch of voice recording this morning, so I want to double check the EQ. I usually like to check it on the studio monitors and also on the headphones.
'Cause you're free. Free to go where you want.
Free to do what you want. I'm stuck with all this.
Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's pull this guy down. Get it in the screen so I can bloody well see it. Bloody well see it. Alright, so let's come back here and
A little harsh.
There was this girl.
What? You know her? She owns land in the north.
Where the rain still.
okay, so this is a mistake. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I previewed it. This is not the correct video. Oh, interesting. Looks like we've got something strange going on here. So let me double check. Well, these are the kind of things you run into where Yeah, that's fine, Maria. Checking sort of, let's just call it the logistics of of your software and your tools and how you have things organized becomes increasingly important the more complicated the project you're working on. So a show like this, you wind up paying a lot of attention to things like this. Here I have this proxy video that I'm both scoring. And by the way, so we've got Zuko over there, and we've got Kyle over there. Kyle's over there sneezing. Zuko's over here chirping. It is a noisy day. It seems to be a noisy day. But Valerie's over there kind of, let's take the webcam and take a peek. Let's take a peek at what she's doing over there. There's Valerie visiting with Zuko. What's going on with Zooks?
I'm gonna take him out.
Oh, you're taking him out? Good. He's going down to his you probably can't see this, but he's going down to his. So when she comes over, we'll come and we'll say a quick hello to Zuko, because Zuko doesn't really get to say, hey, wait a minute, I got to get this. There we go. There we go. There's Zuko. All right. Okay, so that's very nice. Valerie's taking him out and letting him get a bath and whatnot. Okay, so back to the task at hand. So when I say you pay attention to logistics, what I mean is you pay attention to things like this. Here I have a scene, and so we have a problem because there are two clips here and there really should be one, so I have to figure out what's going on with that. But what I'm saying is, so I'm thinking about, okay, the proxy, where is it? Is it actually butted up all the way as far as it can go against the beginning of the timeline? Because that's like, stuff like that becomes super important, because if it isn't, then you could, if you needed to replace it, you might replace it with another one, and it's not in exactly the same position, then everything's out of sync. You know, it can become a real mess. So this is a bit of a creepy situation. Like, why would this be split? I'm going to assume it was something accidental. The other thing that's, well, actually, let's undo that. Another thing that's a little strange about it is, why is this, I can tell by the background preview from the previous episode that this is the wrong video file. And so all I can say is it's a little embarrassing, frankly, but these kinds of little details are things that evolve over a project where you sort of develop ways of making sure you're doing, you know, you've got your workflow under control. And so, you know, on a fairly regular basis, things pop up that aren't quite what they're supposed to be, and it's an ongoing, you're continually organizing, you know, a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to look at this and look at what the source of this file is. Scored a picture. Okay, I see what, okay, so this is interesting. This is what happened. Okay, when I was working on the score, I saved the Reaper project, and Reaper has the ability to save the project like a bundle. So it gathers up all of the media assets that are being referenced in this audio project and saves them in the folder. So everything's together, and it makes it easier to, for example, load up the project in the studio, because everything is right there with the Reaper file. The problem is that you bump into is what we have right here, where I'm updating the proxy file, but what's actually in the project is the proxy that got copied into the project folder. So, little things that happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my render proxies, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to the official proxy. Gotta do it. And so now what we're looking for is there anything that's out of sync? Because if there is, then that's going to be a major pain. So let's just take a peek.
That meddler is an enemy of the crown. Maybe time for you to take a wife.
Wife? I don't even have a girlfriend.
Okay, so we're going to have to do quite a bit with sound effects in this webisode. For sure. Looks like the timing so far, we'll see when we get to some voices, but it looks like the timing's right. Need a sigh there as well. Pages flipping. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of sound effects work for this episode.
How does this even make sense? Oh, hey, little guy. Trying to study. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Why, you little...
No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to almost make a list, I think.
Asher's robe? Oh, jeez.
Okay, this is a case where the sound effect is so bad that it's funny, you know, so... We're gonna stick with that one.
Ah, what's another shirt? That's that. He'll never miss it, Melchizedek. Oh, hey, Asher. How'd it go with the king?
I say what I must. Ffmpeg will never listen to me.
Yeah, I suppose not.
Ah, well. Have you finished washing my ceremonial robe? I expect it to look like new.
By any chance, did it have a red stripe?
That's the one. Why do you ask? You weren't thinking about that girl again, were you?
Okay, that looks like it's out of time.
Why do you ask? You weren't thinking about that girl.
Hit Control G to paste those two together. And then I'm looking for him to start moving his mouth right there.
You weren't thinking about that girl again, were you?
Okay, now it's a little too far.
And were you?
You think you're cute. Got yourself
Okay, so
grounded.
this bugs me a little bit. Now what we're seeing is we're at a certain point in the edit where I'm guessing everything's going to be out of sync. So I'm not really sure why that would have happened. There must have been some edit.
You think you're cute.
Yep, there must have been some edit changes that didn't reflect back into the proxy. So I think the wise course would be to turn on the ripple editing, because I'll bet you once I get this squared away.
You think you're cute. Got yourself grounded. Brought it all on yourself, didn't you? You'll be even sorrier soon enough. You'll be...
Not sure I like that take. I'm gonna mute that and try it again.
You'll be even sorrier soon enough. You'll be even sorrier soon enough.
Yeah, I like that better. So now I don't want to just delete this, because if I do with the ripple editing turned on, it'll make everything downstream be out of sync. So we gotta turn off the ripple editing.
You'll be even sorrier soon enough. Perhaps.
What does she say? Okay, so we have another problem. We have a line of dialogue here, and I have absolutely no idea what that line of dialogue is, and I don't remember that being in the... I'm looking on my other screen at the script. Well, see, this is, you know, these things will pop up, you know, it's just part of the game. So, scrolling through, you'll be even sorrier soon enough. This is actually bugging me a little bit, as I'm seeing this more than I expected to, where I made judgments about how to improve things at the animation stage that I didn't meticulously copy back into the script. Don't run into them very often, but there definitely have been a few. And there really shouldn't be any, but again, it's just logistics, you know, it's keeping track of things.
Soon enough.
What the heck is she saying there?
Perhaps, dear.
I actually have no idea what her line of dialogue is. And that would be either in the recordings that we did or not. So, there's only one way to find out, friends. We are going to just go ahead and, of course, we're in the wrong hard drive here. Salt and Light. Veg. Natalie VO session. I want to pull up the VO sessions and see if there's something I missed.
Oh, sure, you can sing. You're as free as a well,
Okay, yeah, so she's... Alright, let's open this in the trimmer. And then I'm going to pull back and see if there's anything here that I missed.
Because I can pitch it down a little bit.
That's true. Okay.
Okay, Tianara. Oh, sure, you can sing. You're free as a bird.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay, so that's when she was kind of doing the Carliana thing that we're not using.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, that doesn't... So it's not...
Okay.
I don't think there's anything here.
Okay, Tianara. Oh, sure, you can sing. You're free as a bird.
Oh, sure, you can sing. You're as free as a
Well, obviously you are a bird.
But the point is, you're free.
Okay. It looks like the answer is no. So, what do? Well, we're either going to have to take that cut out
soon enough.
or come up with, find some other line of dialogue, which I can either have Natalie record or or even, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but you can you'd be surprised. You know, actually find another dialogue somewhere that was recorded that happens to make sense there. So, but I just don't have any idea what Tianara says. And I'm a little
You'll be even
ashamed of
sorrier
myself
soon
that it
enough.
didn't find its way into the script. I definitely agree that probably she should have a line there. Okay, so now we got Carliana.
Perhaps, dear cousin, our moment may be at hand.
Oh, sure, you can.
Okay, yeah, so this is out of sync. This
Our
was in
moment.
sync, so that means I think we need to adjust this one.
Oh, sure.
And then probably everything will be close.
Oh, sure, you can sing. You're as free as a well, obviously you are a bird. But the point is you're bird.
Oh my gosh, we've got another line of dialogue. Okay, I'm a little concerned about this. So I've got two different lines of Tianara that clearly it was important enough to me when I did the animation, which has been quite a long time ago, to put that lip sync in there. And let me see. She says, well, obviously you are a bird. And I'm thinking...
Well, obviously you are a bird. But the point is you're free.
Oh, I see what happened. Okay, I know exactly what happened. When I chopped this in earlier this morning, I'll show you what I did.
But the point is you're free. Free to go where you want.
Free to do what you want.
See what I mean? This is wrong. This line is supposed to be here. I guess that's one of the dangers of anime style lip sync. Sometimes you can pop a line in and think everything's groovy and not realize you've actually got the wrong line.
But the point is you're free.
Now, I don't actually love the way she said that.
But the point is you're free. Obviously you are a bird.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
But the point is you're free. But the point is you're free.
So we'll just keep rolling with it. I may have to have her read that line, though.
Free to go where you want. Free to go where you want.
And of course, I can always change the lip sync too. So, hey, Amar.
Is you're free. Free to go where you want. Is you're free. Free to go where you want.
And I may
Is
wind
you're
up time
free.
shifting that.
Free to go where you want.
Now let's stretch this.
Free to go where you want. Where you want.
Wait.
Free to go where you want. Free to go where you want.
Oh. She gave me 2 takes of that. I think.
Free to go where you want. Wear what you want. You want. Wear what you want. Do what you want.
Free to do what you want.
Okay. So now the question is, you want to mention that sometimes in animation, 3D and 2D, the eyes have a dead-eye look. When the eyes are the most expressive outside of facial changes or body gestures when showing the acting or going back to selling the acting, the eyes can tell a lot. Why are you pointing that out now? Are you saying, hey, we need to see more eye blinks? Is that how does that observation translate into action?
But the point is you're free. Free to go.
Because there's no doubt that there's probably a lot of opportunities to add more eye blinks, you know, and whatnot.
But the point is you're free. Free to go where you want, wear what you want, do what you want.
Okay, this is not bad.
Go where you want, wear what you want, do what you want, do what you want.
And I think maybe...
Free to go where you want, wear what you... But the point is you're free. Free to...
Okay, I want to check.
Free to go where you...
Okay, so that's that. So I'm wondering if she's got another take ahead of this.
Obviously, you are a bird.
Nope. Okay, so that's what we've got. So we'll work with it for now, knowing that obviously.
But the point is you're free.
Because it just needs to be.
But
It's
the
too
point
hyper.
is you're free. Free to go where you want. Where...
Okay, so now this one. Let's double check the properties. This needs to be elastic, soloist, speech.
Free to go where you want. Where?
Yeah. Definitely that's better.
Free to go where you want. Wear what you want. Do
Yeah. The whole thing is a little bit...
wear what you want. Do what...
I know I'm not finishing my sentences, people, but I think you get what I'm doing here, so I'm not going to belabor it. I was referring to some of the shots I was noticing. You're showing these clips and observation I noticed in animation in gen. Yeah, I would actually even go a step further and say there are probably no shots in this entire show where you couldn't go back and improve them by doing more with the eyes. There's probably not one shot in the show for which that is not true.
You want. Wear what you want. You want. Wear what you want. You want. Wear what you want. Do what you want.
Not bad. I like the way that last one actually stretches out a little bit more because I didn't stretch it short.
But the point is you're free. Free to go where you want, wear what you want, do what you want.
See, that works. And the thing is, what probably should happen here would be better is to go back to this shot. And, her characterization's okay, even though her eyes aren't quite where they need to be. But this shot of animation could definitely be punched up a bit to add some of that enthusiasm that we're not seeing in it right now.
Well, obviously you are a bird.
So... sometimes the animation looking great is concentrated on and it can get lost in the eyes. Well, yeah, and if you're dealing with
oh sure, you can sing.
A lot of motion, in this case there is a lot of motion actually. It's a fairly active
Oh
little
sure,
sequence, as you can see.
Sing. You're as free as a You're as free as a
Okay, so this one I'm going to do the same thing. So, you're making a good point though. We have an ongoing tug of war, as I often say, in many aspects of animation. It came up actually in the conversation with Ed the other day, is that there are competing priorities. On the one hand, you want to maintain the director's vision, the big picture of the story, the character development, the overall flow of it. On the other hand, the way you accomplish that in large part as a creator is by baking a cake with molecules. Not just ingredients, but molecules. It's really, really, really a balancing act. And, probably most people don't do it that well, and that's why you don't see a lot of people that sort of run the whole gamut in the creative process, literally doing everything, kind of the way I'm doing. There are some.
Oh sure, you can sing. You're as free as a
I love that slight speed up. It's just amazing how a little bit of... So right now I'm working with molecules. All I care about right now is if the voices as recorded can deliver the performance we want, then thinking about punching up the animation is going to be a little bit secondary.
Oh sure, you can sing. You're as free as a
Well, right there you got a change in her eyes that I think was effective.
Oh sure, you can sing. You're as free as a
Whoops. This one, did I change the... No. I really need to... Let me check this. I probably don't even need to be doing this. Let me look at the project settings. Yeah. Elastic to speed. So I don't even need to do this. I mean, I don't need to go in and change the parameter like I'm doing right here. This should be project default, actually, because the project default is soloist speech. So this one I wanted to stretch a bit.
You can sing. You're as free as a
Look at that. Look how tight that is now. That's sweet.
Oh sure, you can sing. Oh sure, you can sing. You're as free as a
Now it's funny. That's hilarious. And there are a couple eye blinks, like what Amar's talking about.
Well, obviously you are a bird.
Okay.
Well, obviously you are a bird.
All right. Let's just keep running with this, and then I suspect for today, I'm probably going to be coming back to animation of these shots we're looking at right now. I think they could be improved.
Well, obviously you are a bird.
And I'm going to actually split that and stretch this part back out.
Well, obviously you are a bird. Well, obviously you are a bird.
Okay, I don't know if I need this little hiccup in there at the beginning of it.
Well, obviously you are a
Okay, so given that I'm taking that out, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit of latitude there.
Well, obviously you are a bird.
And then she's got a little bit of breath going on at the end.
Well, obviously you are a bird. But the point is you're free. Free to...
Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not horrible, but it's not
the point
great
is you're
either.
free. Free to go.
So let me think about this. What would you do? Well,
Obviously you are a bird.
excuse me. After the
But
wide
point
shot
is
with
you're
the bird.
free.
So I would have her.
But the point is you're free. Free to go.
Yep, let's deal with that right now. I think I know what to do. So I'm going to have her. I'm going to have her after the wide shot of the bird. I'm going to cut to this shot and let the eyes, and I'm going to let the eyes look up this part right there. I'm going to let that happen right at the beginning of the shot, and then have her launch into a little bit more. Well, the truth of the matter is, we probably could jump right to this animation. Time shifting this whole thing might do the trick. We'll see.
But the point is you're free. Free to go where you want, wear what you want, do what you want.
Okay. Hey, Quad Demon. I don't know if I remember you. But welcome to the Animation Truman Show. That's what we're doing. So as I'm doing this
But
lip
the
sync
point
here,
is you're free. Free to...
I want to go. Excuse me. I want to go and punch up this. So now this introduces a bit of a hiccup because I don't want to pre-render the audio and drag it back into my video edit. That would be introducing self-referencing and whatnot. So what I really need to do is just re-render the animation, and then if I'm going to do this properly, I need to re-render the animation and then re-render the whole episode, convert it to a proxy, and reopen the audio project. So that's a little bit of a boring process for those of you who are watching along. But there it is. We do what we have to do. So let's run Vegas, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the overall episode edit, and what I want to do is find out which shot that is. I'm pretty sure it's a Krita shot. So we are looking for this. And boy, oh boy, I wish I knew what the heck she says on this one line. Whatever it is, it's nasty. That's for sure. Okay, so here's the shot I'm looking at. Okay, now this is interesting. This is 290. Okay, that's interesting. So that means I time shifted it here in the edit. Let me see if we've got rippling turned on. We don't. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, this is getting into something you guys would probably not necessarily know what the heck I'm doing if I don't like describe every little bit of it. We've got the wide shot. Okay, so we can see that the shot of the bird, unfortunately, is, you know, it's baked together. It looks to me like this is all 290. I wonder if this is a Krita shot. Let's find out. We might as well find out. Let's find out the hard way, people. What was the number on that? That was 290. So let's go to 290. Yep, there it is.
And see what we have to work with.
Ah, yes. This is one of the nightmarish Krita shots where there's a lot packed into. A lot packed into a single shot.
Most unfortunate indeed.
But there it is. Okay, so I would say we've got a blink there. Truth of the matter is, this would be better dealt with it in the editing. So this might look a little strange, but we're going to make it work. Now, I don't know why this is here. I don't know why this little edit is here. So let's take this and open this in the trimmer and see what we've got here. Yeah, I think the best way to get my perspective, and by the way, we've got 296 as well, where we have these double eye blinks. And let's look at what happened here. This has definitely been edited. So right now, believe me, I'm thinking like a TV producer, not a movie producer. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a TV producer, you have to make the show perfectly fit the allotted time. That's why the editing on TV shows is oftentimes a little bit more, let's just say gratuitous, I guess. You'll have sequences that kind of stretch out over the credit run and things like that because there's key areas in a show where you can buy yourself some time. In this case, what we're dealing with is a shot that has to be made to fit perfectly in the exact same time frame that it already was. So that's why I'm looking at different shots, looking at what I have to work with here. Once we go down to here, it cuts to Tianara. So, step 1, I'm going to cut that. Okay, step 2, that's just the eye blink, and then it holds on that for quite a while. That's good. That helps. Okay, so we're going to get from there to there. I'm going to split that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ripple edit this so that that change happens quicker. Okay, that actually worked. So this stretched. But wait a second. Okay, I'm confused. Why am I not seeing her mouth move on that shot? Oh, I'm editing the wrong clip. Wow. Well, that was stupid. Okay, that's alright. I know what I did wrong. Sorry, guys. Okay, that is a little embarrassing. But yeah, this is the first part where she... Oh, sure, you can sing. You're free as a bird. Okay, yeah, that was a dumb mistake, but that's all right. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is the part I was going to have to monkey with. Yeah, and we will have to change the animation. There's no other way to make it work. So she says, on 297, she says, yeah, we need to open 297, not 290. Not 290. I'm going to just forget that. This is probably confusing for you guys, but, and I can't elaborate too much on every step I'm taking because I'm having to keep a lot in my head right now that I'm trying to remember all at the same time. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, moving upstream. So we're going to have to change the lip sync a little bit. Okay, just to make it simple at first. Okay, so these are the keys that get us from the here to here. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take these and drag these back here so we just get into the shot, and then she says her line. So now what we're going to do, this lip sync is going to have to go, because what she says is, let's double check the audio edit again. Her line is,
But the point is you're free.
okay, but the point is you're free. That's what we have to get into here after she does this. Okay, so we might as well just get this over here so we know what we're working with. These lip sync shapes might as well just be deleted. Okay. Krita, you're getting on my nerves. Okay, so this mouth shape does not belong. Okay, so what we could do here in the mouth is we could make a little adjustment. Yeah, just hit the A key and just want to put a slight shift here so that it moves with her just a little bit. Okay, and this is a great example of why I increasingly am trying to stay away from Krita, because just stupid stuff like you just saw a moment ago, where I'm scrolling and the buffers aren't full or something, so it's actually not showing me what's in those exact frames. It's just silly, just stupid stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since we're basically doing anime style lip sync, I should be able to go, I think it's Shift Alt, and then I'm going to do that again and see if that worked. But the point is you're free. It probably worked. Let's take this, Shift Alt, put that there. Okay, so now what's missing actually is the eye blinks, like Amar was talking about. I think it would definitely help, and I believe we can always put it on another layer quite easily, by the way. So, okay, step one. People usually blink before they go into a crazy motion, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. And let's render this as well. 0 to 84, and let's see if this, yeah, this is wrong. So we need to set this. So this shot, since Krita 5's been around, this shot has never been edited. So this is shot 297. 297. So now we're going to get the render settings baked into the scene, and then we'll go back and, hey Tom, we'll go back and fix up the the eye blinks. So she, probably the easiest way to deal with this is just use another layer. Just use layers liberally. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a blank keyframe there, and then we'll call this eyelids or eye blinks. Save our work. Didn't mean to hit the transform tool. Okay. Right there. Oh, come on. Oh, I can't even tell you guys how much I hate some of the liberties they took with hotkeys on Krita in version 5 that just make it so that, just stuff you've done for a long time doesn't work anymore. It makes me a little loopy. A little crazy. Makes me want to scream sometimes. That's just one of those cases where for everything that was improved, something else got wrecked. It just is what it is, and the fair answer is, well, if you don't like it, don't use the software. Well, there's another thing right there. You guys can see it happening right now as we speak. Is that for some inexplicable reason, the pressure quit working. Actually, it looks like it might be. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, it sure wasn't yesterday. After I used Blender, the pressure sensitivity in Krita quit working. So it might be because I restarted it. It's come back to life. Okay, so then we've got this. So I need to put a blank keyframe there, obviously. Okay, so let's just judiciously say that probably this would be the spot. Oops, I've got my brush, not my freehand path tool. G key, friends, G key. Okay, so let's just get an eye blink in there. And then, of course, we'll be able to reuse it if it works. Boom. Boom. So yeah, it's just a simple patch operation, really. And effectively what it's doing is letting us retime the scene a bit. I think I want that to be slightly darker. Alright, I'm going to take 5 seconds here and check the good interview with Ed Hooks, by the way. Thanks, man. That was a lot of fun. Ed's a neat guy. As I may have mentioned yesterday, he was because I told him, that Stephen J. Cannell's one of my heroes, and it was kind of cool to find out that Ed has worked on shows with Stephen J. Cannell, because when I got just the time that I became aware of Stephen J. Cannell, and I was kind of, I was making films at the time, and it really, I thought, I'd really like to just meet this guy or talk to him, and just maybe pick his brain a little bit or whatever. And so I became aware of him just in time to find out that he had just died. That was like in 2010 or something. So never got a chance to interact, let's say, with my hero. Okay, let's go ahead and do an insert there. Okay, we got a little bit of a timing issue, or yeah, well, it is a timing issue, but right there. Yes, right there. Okay, we need to go to the mouth layer, A key, and actually, I think I'm going to take this one and lower it slightly as well. Just don't like the feel. Okay, there, slight turn. I'm going to do a bit more of this because I actually think generally, for whatever reason, I've got her mouth a little too high on her head. Kinda throughout, so I'm just going to remedy that now. Now it seems to me there was a blank. Yep, right there. Okay, so we've got a mouth there, and for some reason, I better save my work. For some reason, we've got a disappearing mouth here. So here we've got them. Okay, blank keyframe on the mouth layer. Why is that there, I wonder? Actually, I think we should probably just remove that. Okay, yeah. And now what we'll do is we'll take this, and again, I'm trying to basically use the blinks as a lead-in to the next round of speech. Now, as you can see, we're going to have a little bit of a problem right here. So we can't reuse this one. Well, technically we could. Actually, I can make this work, come to think of it. But I probably should be on the eye blinks layer, shouldn't I? Yes. That would be smart. So I'm just gonna, just gonna kind of clunk it around until we find our spot. Okay, and Krita is Luke. This is another example of something that drives me nuts in Krita. Krita 5 often basically makes a guess about what you intend. And in this case, what it did was it said, because I grabbed this frame and then a moment later I grabbed this frame, what I must have wanted actually was to select this entire range between the two so that Krita would then loop on these frames. I didn't intend that. I didn't do that. And in point of fact, in the timeline, that range was not even showing as selected, but for some reason Krita decides, well, you must want to loop on this. You know, okay, Krita. Okay, whatever you say. Insanity, I say. All right, Control R. And let's go ahead and we're going to jump through the hoops, re-render the whole shenanigans so that we can see if the change in timing on the voice worked. Okay, so this should have updated. Okay, so she says, well, obviously you are a bird. But the point is you're free. Yeah, see, this is going to work. This is going to work. Okay, so that's good. We fixed the acting so it works with the voiceover. So now she's in this position here with, you know, more energy when she says this line.
But the point is you're free.
So definitely that should work. What we have to do, unfortunately, now is kill Reaper. We've got to re-render the show and then convert it to a proxy, reopen it in Reaper and make sure that everything works. So usually fixing things doesn't take this long because I'm not going to completely re-render a webisode just for one little tiny bit of lip sync typically. If I really trusted that it was going to be perfect, and I'm 90% of the way there on this one actually, but in many cases what I would do is I would just go ahead and make the change, and then later after the show, after I render the stems out of Reaper, I'd bring them in there, and then if there's a problem I would find out. So stems are when you, well, it's actually what you see back here on the previous episodes. Stems means you've got one track that's nothing but music, nothing but sound effects, nothing but voice. When you're creating shows for distribution, you have to break it up into stems because one of the goals of a distributor is to sell the thing internationally, which means this is highly likely to wind up getting translated into Chinese and Croatian, and you pick your language. So for that reason, you always have stems. All right, so with that, what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and start this rendering, and then I'm going to take a break while it renders. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. So it should be the proxy right there. And we'll let that render. And then once it starts rendering, I'm going to turn off the webcam and my microphone and go take a break while it renders. Probably be back in about 5 minutes or so. All right. So what do we got here? Okay. Boom. Webcam's gone. Render that, and here it goes. It's probably going to take about 5 minutes anyway. Yeah, 2.5, 3, something like that. We'll see. Back in a bit. All right, back to work. So now we got to do a couple little niggly details, which is we have to run the proxy conversion. Yes. Let Ffmpeg make some magic for me whilst I go and get my tasty beverage, which is just plain old water at this point. And I have my tasty beverage. Slurp, slurp. Guess I could turn the webcam back on, couldn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Good news, everyone! You get to see me now! I'm not sure how long this takes. Should be about done. It's about 7 minutes-ish. Okay. Now what we will do, we'll minimize that. Let's run Reaper and see if things are feeling a little better now. We reopen this and hopefully we haven't introduced a new problem. The only thing is, because this is, see, normally if I wasn't live streaming, I would actually have this on the other screen to my upper left, because I have 3 screens. And I'd be running it full screen, actually. Because obviously that's a little easier to see. Need to smack on the headphones, and let's see what we've got here.
Well, obviously you are a bird. But the point is you're free. Free to go where you want, wear what you want, do what you want.
Okay, definitely better. Timing's a little off here.
But the point...
Okay, that doesn't need to be in there.
But the point is you're free.
Okay, let's grab these two and move them together.
But the point is you're free. Free to go where you want, wear what you...
Okay, that needs to be a little... Oh, wait.
Free to go where you want, wear what... You're free. Free to go where you want, wear what you want, do...
Okay, and that's a little off too. So what I'm going to do is tighten that right up to the edge of the line so I can swirl it around and find the beginning of the lip sync. So we're going to have a problem.
Wear what you want, do what you want. Wear what you want, do what you want.
There we go.
Do what you want. I'm stuck with all this work.
And we'll just keep trudging forward.
Okay, fine. I guess studying's not so bad. Hey, at least we've got food to eat. What? Where'd they go?
I wonder if we want a little bit of a... I'll try it.
I suppose there's always somebody who's got it worse than me.
Okay.
I suppose there's always somebody who's got it worse than me. Like that girl. That girl.
Married?
Okay. So there, let's think about this too.
Married?
Yeah, she says married, and I think what happened there was when I animated it, I think it's actually a mistake. I think when I animated it, I had her say, "What?"
Married?
It kind of, I could get away with it, but really this probably isn't quite where it ought to be.
Married?
All right, let me take this and tighten it.
Married?
I'm going to keep trying. This is one of those things where, you'd say, you should just fix the animation. But the thing is, a lot of times you just make a little change in the audio and it works. So maybe it will and maybe it won't. But it's worth a try because it's a lot quicker to make an audio adjustment than to reanimate something.
Married? Married?
Okay, another thing you could do on this one, let me think about this for a half second. Let me see.
Married? Married?
This is risky, and it probably won't work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Which is, I'm going to grab on the other screen, I'm going to grab a pitch shifter. I'm actually going to take her pitch up. Now, in a perfect world, you'd probably do this with with an envelope so it can gradually go into the pitch change, but we'll try it because sometimes you can make an adjustment and then actually crossfade them to fake the effect of an envelope without having to do it. So let's just go up one semitone and see what happens.
Married? Married?
Okay, now I'm gonna...
Married?
Nope, doesn't work. Okay, so forget it. Thought it might work. Figured it probably wouldn't, but there it is. So, in other words, the voiceover... what I'm trying to see if I can do is make it go married instead of married. Instead of going down in pitch, go up. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the limit of that type of thing.
Married?
So I would say...
Married? Well, no! Well, no!
Natalie, something about her generation, I just noticed it for, I guess it'd be about 30 years now, but something about her generation adds this little at the end of words, and she says, no!
Well, no!
See that? That's something she always did, and I always thought it was unique to her until I noticed, years later that kind of a thing. A lot of people do it.
Well, no!
Now, personally, let me see if I just take that off. If I take that off, but then stretch this out.
Well, no!
Okay, so we could probably let a little bit of it sneak in and it will work, I think.
Well, no!
And then this.
Well, no!
Yeah, see, now the acting's a little bit better. It's still not like
well,
perfect.
No!
It's all judgment call.
No!
That timing-wise, it feels good.
Well, no!
Okay.
Father never would have...
Okay. So what do we have here?
Kids nowadays, they got no appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Kids nowadays, they got no appreciation. Kids nowadays, they got no appreciation.
I don't know if that needs to be in there. It probably doesn't, but we'll fiddle with it. Yeah, it would really have to be snuck up close. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Kids nowadays.
I know. I want it to be more like that.
Kids nowadays.
That's too loud.
Kids nowadays, they got no appreciation. Kids nowadays. Kids nowadays, they got. Kids nowadays, they got no appreciation.
All right. Boom. Okay. Let's say, excuse me. All right, I'm going to take a moment here, see what's going on. If there's any so this care and the timing, that must be a challenge when it gets dubbed in other languages. Well, not really. I mean, that's why the lip sync is anime style lip sync. You know, open mouth, more open mouth, more open mouth, almost closed mouth. It's a 5-frame cycle. Not actually 5 frames, it's usually 2 frames per, but
I suppose there's always somebody who's got it worse than me.
but yeah, it's going to be see, and that's what you're going to get, you know, and it's never going to be perfect, but you know, that it is.
Married?
Isn't it wonderful?
Well, no!
Okay, now thinking. One more thing that does need to be done is the next time on. This is actually referencing the last episode. Next time on. So, whatever. I'm going to pop this open. See what we've got. Okay. So, the next time on things are individually, well, most of the voiceover is all the same. So, Reaper, voice recording. Something next time on. So I'm thinking, so I'm gonna have to go and look what Reaper project has that recorded in. Okay, so the idea here would be, let's hit the D key twice, grab this, and then we're gonna just slide this downstream, create a new copy. Yeah, let's create a new copy. Come here, double click that, create a region around it. Okay, so what that does for me is, again, this voiceover is going to be wrong.
This is Dave. The next episode, Melchizedek is tormented by Monkey when he's not thinking about Tianara, who learns to her horror that she's being married off to Prince Vespar. If you've missed previous episodes, find them here on YouTube channel.
Okay, so now what I have to do is take all this, cut it out, And then,
Episode Melchizedek.
yeah. So from here to roughly here.
If you've missed previous episodes,
Yeah. Okay, so this has to be fairly exacting. This is how much time, basically 10 seconds, 9 seconds actually. I have 9 seconds to tease what comes in the next episode. So now, I'm not going to block that in right now, but if we take this now and just ripple edit it like this, this is what I just created. So now I've got.
this is Dave, aka BlendedPlanet, creator of Salt and Light. In the next episode,
Then everything drops out because we need to stick that stuff in there. And we're just
if you've missed previous episodes, find them here on YouTube.
we're just taking pieces from the show timeline, and then I need to cobble together essentially a 9-second trailer for what comes in the next episode. So with that, the only thing I need to do on this one is get the rest of the voice in. Mainly it's Carliana. Yeah, I guess it'd be mainly Carliana. And then kind of a lot of sound effects. Little splashing sounds and. So we're going to have a. Well, let's make a list, shall we? Let's do that. Thinking I'm going to do it on paper. I'll be right back. Okay. Grabbing my handy dandy notebook, which of course you guys cannot see. But the most efficient way to do this is the old school way, which is to just make a list. So I don't really have enough desk space here to pull this off, but I'm going to try. So this is sound effects for episode 0104, which is effectively webisode 4. So we've got we got a double splash. Probably, let's see. Yeah, just some general dripping. What I'll probably do is what I should do is take a washcloth, drop it in the toilet, and then just pick it up out of the toilet. Oh, yes. Now that I've grossed out everybody. You do whatever you have to do. What am I going to fill the tub full of water just for that? I don't think so. Okay, and then maybe a squeaking handle. I don't know what that's going to be. Some kind of handle squeak would be good. Okay, that's going to be Foley. That's going to be Foley of just cloth whipping around. Yeah, and probably plus vocal effects. What I just did there, I will actually put in the show. It'll go. Same thing in reverse. Sigh. Gotta have a sigh. Flipping pages. See, if I make a list, I can actually walk around, possibly with my Pixel phone. We'll see. We'll see. I did some tests with my Pixel phone to see if I were to... my Pixel phone has a tendency to pick up room ambience no matter what, but that's because there's a microphone on the top and the bottom. But what I found is if I'm really close to the microphone on the bottom, I get a pretty good sound. So that, you know, sounds almost like a cardioid microphone. So we'll see. If that doesn't work, then I'll just have to do it the hard way and run a microphone cable, you know, daisy chain a couple mic cables and just could run it to the laptop, I suppose. Okay, yeah, one thing I wonder about, I think like I'm gonna try putting in a computer, like a old school, like the sound you get when you get when you're scrolling through an audio sample, you know, where you're really zoomed in. You get this sort of computer effect. Well, for the Futurama fans out there, you'll remember when Bender, what the heck was wrong with Bender in this episode? I think he was going forward in time or something like that. So whenever he would go forward in time, you'd hear this sound. It was like a digital audio sample sound where you're scrolling really fast through an audio sample. That's pretty much what I'm thinking. Something like that. It may not work, but we'll try it. Kind of a... Okay, let's see here. Flip the page. And then we need, you know, we need some monkey scurrying sound. Yeah, my point being that if I make this list, I could probably, you know, it's like any home improvement project or something. All the work is in the setup, right? It's in the prep. The actual work doesn't usually take that long. See, it's like that. Doing all the sound effects will probably take 15 minutes if I know what I'm after and I just go do it. So we're gonna have to have probably 5 different versions of monkey scurrying, which is usually that's like a washcloth or something. If you take it and you just go, you kind of shake it. Well, you could probably do it with this. Actually, here's a towel. Whenever monkey scurries around, that's basically what you hear. Something like that. It seems to work in the other episodes where I tried it. But that's the Foley artists. I mean, you know, that's what you do. You use whatever. You know, when we're breaking skulls, we use, you know, cabbages or head of lettuce, things like that. If you're curious about that, you can look into the art of Foley. Okay, so we definitely probably need, it wouldn't be the worst thing to have a little bit of this type of a sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but basically the sound of the quill pen on the paper. Just to, you know, it's one of those things you'll barely hear it, but it'll just punch up the effect to make you feel like you're in it. Okay, right there, we need something, something like a small rock bouncing on the grass to represent that bottle. There's a lot of Mickey Mousing, by the way, with Monkey 2 in the music. So You know, this is a case where on this episode I could probably get away with not actually doing that much with monkeys scurrying about, at least at this first half. And you'd never even miss it, really. Because the music is very much echoing monkeys' movements. Now in the back half, after we go to Tianara and come back, not so much. I'm going to re-look at the bugs buzzing. What I put in there was okay, but okay, so we're going to need a little Foley here. Just basic footsteps on grass. I can probably pull something out of the archives. I have a fair amount of Foley in the archives that I could use for that. I'm going to put a bird in the background. I didn't notice this before, but apparently the shot of Asher there, for whatever reason, I went ahead and just stuck a bird flying by in the background, so we might as well give the bird a voice, a distant call. Yeah, this episode's a little longer than the last one. This one's like 6 minutes. Solid 6 minutes long. Right there, probably oh, come on, I missed it. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Mostly the music sort of carries the day there. Hello? Okay. Yeah, trudging on rock. A rocky path. We should hear a little bit more of a gravel kind of thing going on. Let's do some kind of, I might do this in the music, but when Tianara's eye blinks, we really need something, maybe like some pizzicato strings. Blink, blink. That would be, because I'm not really Mickey Mousing the Tianara stuff, so musically it's a little dark, but I want to stick with the dark for the most part on the Tianara stuff, so, but I could add a little bit of a punctuation there. When does she say her line? I have no idea what that line is. Unfortunately. It's the great missing line. So I'll do what every good producer does when they run into something like that, which is to ignore it for now. Carliana Golek. Carliana Golek. Oh yeah, bird tweeting. This bird, I'm gonna have to find some kind of really good bird singing effect. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Okay, I need to get Natalie to Tianara chuckle. Just a little. I don't think I had her do that. I'll search through the archives and see if I did, because maybe I did and I missed it. Oh, page flip. I guess we'll use the same one as before. A little quieter. Okay, that needs to be a kind of a hard landing. Let's call it a hard landing of Melchizedek when he smacks down on the ground. So, like I said, this is bona fide animation Truman Show, because today this is just what I do. You know, if you're going to put a show together, this is the stuff you have to do, and you're not going to get around doing it. You have to do all this stuff. If you want the show to be good. And then it can still turn out to suck. But we hope not. So, fair amount of Foley. I'll make a note of it. Carliana Foley. But that's basically just going to be a matter of getting some, you know, just some kind of cloth sounds smacking around when she's moving. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then we got some Tia footsteps. Indoors, so we're gonna have to. We've got a wood floor upstairs, so probably we could do that up there. That's where being able to do it on my phone would be quite useful. Balder footsteps. And I think we're just about done with the sound effects list. Very good. So this is probably useful for you, Maria. Yeah, Burn That. Well, that's a great song, actually, if you want to talk about well-written country songs. Burn That Bridge by Brooks and Dunn. I think Ronnie Dunn wrote that one. Hello, Miss Heartbroke. Sit your sweet self down. Remember that? It's good to see your dancing feet back out on the town. Or something like that. Rumor has it you had trouble with your man. I've had trouble of my own. I think I'd understand. We'll put out that old flame, build a bigger fire. I'll pick up where it let you down and take you so much higher. I love that bend he does, actually, vocally in that song. And if his memory comes around, you think you still care. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. Okay, so we have a list, friends, of 1, 2, 3, 4. 21 sound effects. And that's very bad news. A bunch of work that has to be done. Am I right? So, it probably would be most apropos for me to sign off, actually, because by gum and by golly, what I need to do is go gather up all these sound effects, and I can't really live stream while I'm doing that because I have to go in different areas of the house to make it happen. And I'm going to have to test doing what I think will work with the phone, and if it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to do a more complicated, which is what I've done in the past. So this phone thing's just really an experiment. I was hoping that the shotgun mic, which you see here, could be plugged directly into the phone, and it doesn't work. So I could do that with a laptop, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I could take the laptop around. So anyway, I think with that, it would probably be prudent for me to sign off unless there's something I want to do animation-wise before that. This is maybe worth a look. Let me set the, let me get these sound effects out of my face here. And go, hang on a second, I'm gonna go set this down. Desk does not have a ton of extra real estate because, well, I can show you actually. Here's why. Because basically you've got this desktop, right? And you've got the keyboard and the tablet screen, and then if you look up, you've got these two screens. And as you can see, a window behind as well. So, works pretty well. 3 screens. And now I have to get this straightened out again. There we go. Okay, so do we want to play with this? I think not. I'm actually thinking I don't. I'm a little out of gas. It's been a good session. Almost 2 hours though. I'm probably ready for a little bit of a break. So kind of hungry, frankly. Truth be known. Thinking maybe grab a little lunch. Time is it? Yeah, it's noon. Grab a little lunch. Knock out some sound effects, and then maybe I'll be back on when I start laying in the sound effects. You have an unshaded? I do. Yeah. I mean, no, it's not tough on the eyes. If the only time it's a problem is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun will come in, but yeah, we've been in this house for 8 years. We've never put up curtains. There's one room, or there's one window, really large window, monster big window actually, that we put, a heavy light blocking drapery on. Other than that, no. I know it's a little unconventional, but we really haven't done the. We just like letting the sun shine in, It's what we do. It's what we do. So where was her? Oh yeah, this is the no. Yeah, I'm gonna ponder. Excuse me, that wasn't supposed to happen. Hello? I'm going to ponder these 2 shots and see what I might maybe do to punch them up. They're pretty good, but it's like the exaggeration might be a little too much of a good thing. So we'll see. We don't have to decide now. Alright, so if there are any questions. But yeah, I actually, to be fair, I have a curtain rod and a curtain that's for that very window for that very reason. I just haven't put it up because it just hasn't been that big. Well, the thing is that this is one of those desktops that you can raise it up about 1.5 feet up in the air, so I can work standing up if I want to. I'm not standing right now, but I can. And if I really was wanting to get something done at the time of day where the sun tends to shine in the window in a way that's obnoxious, if I just put it standing up, that takes care of the problem too. So there's that to consider. So anyway, if there are no other questions, yeah, Roman style. I don't know what Roman style means, but I know the curtains that we have actually for this window they're total light blockers. I mean, they're really thick, and that's what they're for. So if there's nothing else, friends, I think I will go ahead and wrap it up. And as I said, maybe western facing. Yeah, this window is actually facing south. And so what happens is, in the middle of the day, the sun goes over at around 2 in the afternoon, just because it's a little tends to be coming a little bit from the south, it shines right in here. So, all very interesting, I'm quite sure. So anyway, with that, I think I will sign off. And as you guys know, there will be more later.